Hello and welcome to ConTinual, the convention that never ends. My name is Jean Marie Ward, and tonight we're going to have a panel that I'm really interested in, and that is how to sell your work on TikTok. So with me today are three wonderful authors and social media mavens, and I will let them introduce themselves, starting with Anna.
Hi, I'm Anna Kensing. I'm not sure that I would really call myself a social media maven, but I've been really enjoying TikTok. I write queer romance, mostly MM, and some of which has tentacles.
Oh, great.
Love
I like
tentacles.
anime, so I can appreciate that. Anyway, Amanda.
Uh, Very similar beginning to that introduction, actually. I also write primarily MM romance. I do have a couple stories with tentacles in them. I'd say I mostly have PNR, so the paranormal sci-fi side of things, but I hit pretty much every subgenre you could possibly imagine, including even a few contemporary. And I've really been enjoying TikTok myself, but I'm still fairly new and excited to share what I've learned as someone who's only actually been on for about 3 months.
Oh, cool. Okay, and Riley.
So I am Riley. I write fantasy romance. I actually don't have anything published yet, but I am the social media expert here. I do media training for authors, and I do social media social media management, and basically teach authors how to do social media since
Okay,
publishers don't.
where is here, Riley?
Yeah.
And give us your last name with the correct pronunciation, because
Yes.
I'm
Oh,
bad at that.
yes, I'm actually so I live in Scotland and my last name is Clabundi.
Okay,
So,
cool, cool.
yes, it
Um,
is actually midnight here. So
Oh,
yeah,
goodness.
yeah, we are international, isn't it grand?
That's
Anyway,
awesome.
Riley, I'm going to start with you. What
sure.
first attracted you to TikTok as a platform and for promotional purposes?
So actually it was being surrounded by my cousins and everything, and because of the pandemic we had to have something to do and became kind of obsessive of it and found book talks and everything about book talk extremely interesting, and just the dynamic of what can happen. So I actually also work as a bookseller in a Barnes and Noble, and watching from the back end to see how these books were doing and how it was completely mind-bogglingly changing because of TikTok. I don't know if you guys know the statistics of the publishing statistics. So from 2020 to 2021, there was about a 4% growth, the highest growth that they've seen in print books in the 20 years that they have been following that metric. And they equate it to TikTok.
Cool. Very cool. Not the pandemic, the program or the app, I
Yeah,
should
no,
say.
they literally are like, it's because of TikTok, because the specific algorithm of TikTok is unlike any other social media that you've seen before, where like Instagram, it very much goes to your specific followers. Like, I don't know if anybody's recognized, but some videos that were published like 3-4 months ago show up on your timeline frequently. And that's the beauty of TikTok and why it's important to do that.
Okay. Anna.
So I was not not of the sort of TikTok historical generation, and I sort of fell into it mostly because I saw other authors talking about how it has turned out to be this really useful tool for selling books. And so like I didn't start, I started with Book Talk. Essentially, I created my TikTok account and I started straight in and training the algorithm and to show me Book Talk related videos. And then I had a fairly early on, I had a video that it's not TikTok viral because it only had like 10,000 views, but the spike in sales that I got just from that one video was enough to convince me that this is really the place to be. I generally dislike social media. I'm not like I'm on all of them, but I don't spend a ton of time on them, and I find them to be a chore. But I've actually really enjoyed being on TikTok, and so it's been fun to do, and so it's actually been something that I have been willing to put some time into.
Okay, Amanda, what attracted you to the platform?
And actually, since I forgot to do it right away, I'll say it's Amanda Mavison, which I'm sure when anybody ever sees my name, they would never guess that in a million years. So thank you for reminding us to actually say how to pronounce our names. For me, it was just, I think there was this huge boom all of a sudden, specifically in the queer genre, where it was like, all right, if you guys aren't on TikTok, it's time to get on there right now. And so many of my reader friends, like readers that I know personally, people I know in real life, were just embracing book talk so much and saying, the last like dozen books I've read have all been book talk recommendations. You have to get on there, especially since I have a bit of a radio background and a theatrical background. So everybody was like, oh, you'll have so much fun. You should get on there. And I was definitely in the skeptical camp because I have trouble digesting TikTok personally. I'm more of a read to learn kind of person rather than like audio or visual, especially with the fast pace of TikTok. So it was hard for me to like watch videos, but I really have been enjoying creating them. And similar to what Anna said, I had one video early on that just exploded and showed like a ton of sales. And I was like, all right, it clearly works. There's a reason that I need to keep doing this. And I've been happy ever since that I started.
Okay, great. And we have a new person joined us, and it's JD Blackrose. Welcome, JD. And could you give an introduction, give you a brief introduction of yourself, and also let us know what first attracted you to the TikTok platform?
Sure. So my apologies for being late. Again, JD Blackrose, and I write urban fantasy and some humorous fantasy and a little touch of paranormal romance. What attracted me to TikTok is, first of all, I should be clear, I'm a little bit of a TikTok fraud because I have never, ever had a video go viral. I have yet to be able to say I have seen a huge, like any kind of a serious jump because of it. At the same time, I hear enough stories that tell me that if I just keep persisting, maybe there will be some good luck one day. If I can just, I think so many of us think like maybe I can just find that magic formula. What is the magic formula for TikTok, And I'm not sure there is one. Like there is, yeah, see, everyone's going to know. There are some things you can do that seem to generate a few more views than others, with your hashtags or particularly with the music you choose. That's like if it's on trend or whatever. But there's literally nothing that I have found that is like the magic bullet. At the same time, lots and lots and lots of people are having success. So if you enjoy doing it, and you want to invest that time, I say it's a good place to spend some energy. If you hate it, don't do it.
Agreed.
Well, that said, the other members of this panel have had kind of some spikes on it. So I'm going to ask, you've answered what was going to be my next question, which was, how important is it to you? And Riley also answered part of this. And how important do you feel it is to writers as a whole to utilize this platform? So, Amanda, could you give us some of your statistics on that? Because you've seen a spike. Likewise, you, Anna.
I hate to say I think absolutely everyone should do it because like JD said, if you hate it, please don't spend your energy on something you hate, because then it's just going to kind of hurt you creatively down the line for other stuff that deserves your energy. So don't feel that way. Plus, I know way too many authors who have pseudonyms cannot show their actual faces for whatever reason because they need to hide their real life identity. And you're going to see more hits generally if you're kind of interspersing some of your videos with ones that show your real face. So if you can't do that, then it might not be the best platform for you. I think if it's something you enjoy, it's something you can put the energy into trying to do at least, a video a day. Like I said, I've been doing this for 3 months. I've only missed like one day in a week, a few weeks here or there, because I absolutely couldn't, but I try to post every day. If you can invest that time, I think it's worth it, because the ones that actually make it, there is no magic bullet. Absolutely not. Because like the one I saw that had that huge spike for me, I try to recreate that bit of magic, and you can never quite get it exactly the same way again. Like I had another one that was close, but not quite as big. Same thing. It was one of my book trailers. Like neither of these were my face, which is funny since I just said that's helpful. But another one that was a book trailer, I tried to copy that format exactly. And even that didn't give me the same kind of hits. So it's more so because I enjoy doing it, knowing that once in a while, one of them might give me that little bit of magic and pull in a few new readers, and I'm going to keep steadily growing. I feel like it's worth it for me. But I would only say no to people if it's going to feel like too much of a chore, because then I just feel like you're taken away from where your energy should be spent.
And so you're doing it every day. What about you, Anna?
I try to do it every day, but and for a while when I first started out, I was doing it every day, and I think that that's what helped me, sort of build to the magic number of 1,000 followers before you can put, like a link in your profile to your website or to, your books for sale or whatever. So, but my life has actually been a bit of a hot mess right now, and I've been on a book deadline, and I was out of town, and so I have kind of slipped lately in terms of posting every day. And so the growth, I've seen that the growth has slowed down, but I also have seen that things are picking up again now that I'm being a little bit more consistent, and I expect them to continue to pick up the more consistent I become. And I'm also seeing that because I've spent a fair bit of time, curating my own feed, my own, the videos that I watch on it, I'm getting way fewer celebrity fake accounts and man bots and things like that. I'm getting, like the new followers that I'm getting that has slowed, like it's not quite the flood that it was in the beginning, but the followers that I'm getting tend to be more readers than,
More
bot
people
accounts.
than bots.
More people who actually want to follow. And so like slower, steadier growth is something that I think is really important, is better, right? Than just, sort of an explosion. So would I love more followers? Absolutely. I'm working my way toward it. But I agree with Amanda. I do this because I enjoy doing it, and I do it because I truly believe that it helps book sales. And I've seen a lot of authors talk about that. There's an author that I know who's really doing well on TikTok who says that, I think she gets like a sale every 80 views, like on average. And I'm not quite at that point yet, but it is really hard to predict. The one video that I had that like exploded and caused a big spike in my sales was just something, it was a tiny clip from Hamilton. It was like that, it might be nice to get Hamilton on your side. And then, like Aaron Burr saying talk less. And I had like me with a like sort of hooky bit about a book, and then my wife being like talk less, and I threw it. It took me about 10 minutes to make. I threw it up right before I went to bed, and I woke up to like 100 new followers and a bunch of comments and like 10,000 views of it. And so like I would never have expected that one to be the one that kind of took off. So like some video, it's hard to predict, and some videos do better than others, but I think the more you do it, the more you can figure out what types of videos the TikTok algorithm will push forward for you. For some people, you can only get success if you show your face. For other people, you can actually do pretty well if you don't show your face, if you do like book flips and things that we call like book hooks that don't show your face, but that show like a stack of books or your book flipping pages or something like that. And it just really depends on the algorithm, which no one understands and which changes all the time. But that's part of the fun, is trying to figure out how to make it work for you.
Okay. Amanda and JD and Riley, how many followers have you reached? Let me put it this way. Have the three of you reached the magic 1,000 followers?
So close, so close. I'm less than 50 away. So I'm very excited that I feel like in 3 months, that's pretty good considering I was so
Yeah.
Like my overall goal is to hit 2,000 by the end of the year, which I think is doable, even though I have slowed down. But I agree on slow and steady is better. But yeah, super close, super close.
Okay, and JD, are you there on the 1,000?
Oh no. Oh no. I'm not even gonna say the number because it's embarrassingly
No,
low.
don't say that because they got to start somewhere.
So, well, okay, I will be the starting person here because everybody else seems to have had success. I literally have 61 followers. Now, they are all people. I am pretty sure they're people. They're like humans. But probably half of them are my friends. So, it is what it is. And this is why, I'm happy to be honest about the fact that, like, I don't know, I don't really particularly feel like I know what I'm doing, but I don't mind doing videos. Like, I don't mind it. And this is what we were saying, about you have to enjoy it. Like, Twitter has always been sort of boring to me. I do a lot of Facebook. So this is sort of like fun to try to figure things out. I am not posting every day. And now that you're saying that, that's making me think like, okay, maybe that's a big issue. But one of the things that I started doing was a series of videos called Real Talk Writer, where I give like little snippets of advice for writers who are just starting out, particularly ones who are just starting out if you're over like the age of 40, and this is sort of like a second go, right? Your 20s and 30s were devoted to like raising kids or working at a job you hated or whatever it was. And now you're like, I'm going to give some time to myself. And I like doing that. Like, that's something for me that I enjoy. So I think and I know has provided value to some other people. So I'll just keep doing my thing and people will follow or they won't. The one that like got like 1,500 views like super early on was simply my cat leaning back, sleeping to the music. I'm going to take a nap, a really long nap. That one, that was it.
How long does it take you to make videos?
Well, it depends. If I'm going to do like just like a book flip video with some wording that really doesn't take super long. If I'm going to do a Real Talk Writer, that takes longer because I have to know what I'm going to say. Okay. The cat took 2 seconds because she was stretched out on her back and I thought she really looked really cute. And she sort of stretched out her paw and I took the video and I put the music to it and I popped it up and everyone's like, cat! And that was it. So,
hey, cat. I mean, I'd look if I was actually looking at the videos there.
The entire TikTok feed is books and animals. So
yeah. Riley, have you hit the magic 1,000 followers? And about how long does it take you to put together material for TikTok?
So I don't sell my own books right now, but I do this for other people. So I actually have several authors that I do videos for. So depending on the material, it can take anywhere between 5 minutes to an hour because I'm collecting up the pictures for whatever book that I'm promoting at the time. In terms of the one author who I've done stuff for, she saw a extreme growth. I don't know exactly the follower count. Personally, I don't actually have, my follower count is like maybe 500. But again, I'm not actually doing this for myself right now because I do it more for other people. But she has seen that kind of magic kind of growth because we did it as her debut. She was a debut author. So this was her first novel. And in the first week in a very niche category, she was up to like number 1 or number 2 on Kindle, in a very like specific niche category for romantic suspense and like a very specific category. But it was really exciting because now I can use those pictures she sent me on a future video. And I also know how to scheduling out things because I can schedule out videos months in advance through like different scheduling platforms that now have TikTok. The only issue is the trending sound. Is
Oh,
that one
yeah.
you have to like know which one's happening at the time.
I'd love
What
to
is
know
a
some of the platforms. Sorry, just to ask, like, so what are some of the ones that have added Tick-Tock now to the pre-scheduling? Just because I haven't looked
Yeah.
into that in a while.
Sure. So Later is my favorite use. So I use Later because what's nice about Later is you can put all of them together and it's considered like a social media set. And so you can have you can have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and Twitter all in one. And you can then show in your month, you can then show all of them as well. So it's personally my favorite, but there are plenty that do. I think the Planner does it. I think Buffer is the other one that has it.
I think Buffer just added it, but only for business accounts, not for
Yeah.
personal
Oh,
accounts.
that's good to know.
Yeah. So like Later is nice because you can schedule for personal ones. But yeah, again with TikTok, because TikTok is so like the popular sounds and stuff, you kind of have to know what to look for. I also create videos in Canva a lot of times.
Yeah.
Because it's really simple.
Super simple. That's my go-to as well.
It is. And like nobody, like, I feel like everyone's sleeping on Canva. I'm like, it's so easy to use and you can become a graphic designer in 5 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
And
I
I,
think
you know, a lot
Canva
of,
is a really,
go ahead.
I think Canva is a really great tool, and I think it has a lot of utility. I might be the outlier here, but I don't use external programs to create videos on TikTok because I use TikTok's own internal video creation and editing tools. And because TikTok is so unique in its presentation, it can be obvious as you're scrolling through the feed which videos were made with TikTok's creation tools and which videos were not. And I have heard, I myself tend to skip past videos that are clearly like sideways oriented instead of vertically oriented, or that are just, still Photoshop, still photo slides. So I think that you can use Canva and CapCut and other tools to mimic some of the functionality of TikTok video creation tools. But I think that, and I've heard from other authors who are doing really, really well on TikTok that they stay within TikTok to make their videos because they find that the videos that they make within TikTok do better and rise to the For You page more successfully.
Well, if you
I
are
do a mix of both actually.
That's what I was
because
gonna say.
yeah, like half the time I like for example, ones like the aesthetic videos are just way simpler to put together on Canva, and then I do the rest of it in TikTok. So yeah, a lot of the final editing I do in TikTok, especially because the sound bites and everything and getting that flash, it's just much easier.
basically though, isn't it harder to pre-schedule in TikTok, or does it have a pre-scheduling function?
TikTok itself does not have a
natively,
scheduling function. So yeah,
TikTok does not
it's got a robust draft folder. So I do a lot of things and I save them as drafts, and then I sort of, like mark a note to myself to go in later and finish them up and then post them at up at the time that I wanted to post them. But currently TikTok itself does not have a scheduler. The only thing about the drafts folder is that if you ever have to replace your phone or if you ever have to uninstall the app, you'll lose all your drafts, which
Yeah,
is sort
sounds
of a
like you
daunting
have personal
prospect.
experience.
and you can't download them to a second source.
You can't download drafts to a second source. Once the video is posted, you can download it to your photo, to anything. Yeah, but you can't download the drafts, which is really too bad because that would be super convenient to be able to schedule them within TikTok or be able to download the drafts and save them in case you have to.
I wonder if that is a deliberate attempt to keep it somewhat end user friendly as opposed to professional friendly, because you see on a lot of other platforms a distinct movement to the commercial that you do not necessarily see on TikTok. So
I think that might be true. And I think that one of the things that's kind of delightful about TikTok is informality and authenticity. And
Yeah.
so I think that a lot of videos that do really, really well are just people being, you know, themselves. They, you know, they may use one of the, you know, makeup filters, or they may have just rolled out of bed. And it, like, TikTok viewers do not expect perfection, and they do not expect you know, super polished things. I think to a lot of TikTok viewers, too much polish and too much perfection looks fake.
Mhm.
That's absolutely true. It's because of the authenticity of TikTok that you don't get, because like Instagram, everything is very staged. I mean, just look at how beautiful Bookstagram is, like gorgeous, but clearly fake. Whereas like TikTok, you know, in your face. Yeah.
JD, when you put it together, do you also use the TikTok function?
Depends. If I'm for most videos, I'll just do it in TikTok. Also because I'm not good at it yet. Like, I'm sort of learning, and so, you know, I'm not great at it. But when I'm doing the Real Talk Writer stuff, sometimes for that, because that also goes on my YouTube channel, like it goes other places. I do that and then just do, like, I literally do it in one take. Like, I just talk to the camera. So that's very TikTok-ish. Like, I'm not curating it. I'm just like talking like, hey, JD Blacker's here, Real Talk Writer. Today we're going to talk about whatever. And I do it in one take. And then I will do a minimum of editing in Adobe Rush, just, you know, because if I'm turning the camera off and my arm goes out, it looks weird or whatever. And then that's it. And so it goes on YouTube, it goes on Facebook, it goes on TikTok, it goes everywhere. I did get a little setup, like this tiny little setup with a camera with a little remote thing to turn it on, because that does make it easier. Otherwise I was literally propping my phone up. I mean, authentic, if authentic means unprofessional and learning, yes, I am very authentic. But again, like you guys were saying, you know, TikTokers do not respond well to overly produced stuff. That is definitely a thing. So if you're going to, you know, just go like, hey guys, I know I have no makeup on and whatever, but this happened to me today and I had to share it. Like, that's a much more authentic TikTok type of experience than all done up with lots of editing. So
Does everybody view a lot of TikTok themselves? I mean, are you just coming in and putting the videos up, or are you a consumer yourself?
As
Riley?
little as possible. For me, as little as possible, because it kind of bugs me. Like, I can't process it and it start to like affect my anxiety in this weird way. It must be something about the repetition and the quickness and the shortness. I don't enjoy it as a consumer. So it's hard for me. Like, I try to force myself to watch a few of the people I follow in my for you, you know, every day when I'm posting, just to get a feel for what is everybody else doing. Oh, that one's cute. I want to comment. I want to try to engage a little bit, but I can only handle so much just because my brain does not process information very well from this type of platform.
Mm-hmm. Sort of like those flashing lights that sometimes send people into
Yes.
epileptic shock.
Oh,
okay,
yeah, it just kind of starts to get to me after a while, and I for my own sanity, I have to set it aside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Riley?
I watch it, but I have to set it aside. Because I can get sucked into TikTok in like a half hour, 45 minutes has gone by, and I'm like, oh my God, I need to go to bed. But, you know, yeah. But I have a couple cats that I need to know what's going on with. Like, you know, there are some really fabulous TikTokers out there whose cats have become characters. And from a writing standpoint, watching how they do it and the voice they give to each cat. I mean, they're just cats, okay? They're not just saying all this stuff, but I sort of believe that Veronica and Baby Boo are having this conversation. And I like, you know, Veronica has a personality and she's really worried about safety and extension cords, and she likes to raid the tree cabinet, and Baby Boo is much more like freeform. And I'm like, this woman has done an amazing job. She is doing serial storytelling with her cats. and I'm completely sucked in, right? And then there's some others that, like, there's 3 Southern Cats.
Oh my gosh, I love them so much.
Southern
They're
Cats are
Willow, Tigger.
hilarious. They are hilarious. This woman's done the same thing. And so I started following these cats because, like, Tigger wants a beer, and Weezer is, and like, and Willow's.
I'm going to have to look this up now.
Oh my God, it's the
Southern
best.
Cats.
Three Southern Cats.
You'll get sucked in. It's ridiculous.
Unbelievable. But, the Willow, the cat, has a character. She's sort of like mean, and Tigger is like, this, and Weezer's like
Weezer's kind of dumb.
Weezer's kind of dumb, and again, I got sucked into them because the women behind both of them are amazing storytellers. They write these scripts, they edit these cats in a way that it makes it look like they're actually saying what they're saying. I mean, from a storytelling perspective, it's really quite impressive. And then I have this whole thing about watching horses that get rescued, and like, that's just me. And then I start crying and I have to get out of it. So yeah, but
I have noticed that my own videos do better when I spend more time watching videos on TikTok. So I can definitely lose. Kudos to you, JD, for only losing half an hour on TikTok videos. Heavens to Betsy, I have lost so much time. So it can absolutely be a time suck, but when I'm away from it and when I'm not watching videos and all I'm doing is sort of throwing up, like the periodic one just to kind of like keep myself active, those videos I've noticed do not show as well as the videos that I post when I'm actively engaged in it. And so I do think that the algorithm rewards active engagement on the platform, of creators who are also posting videos.
I totally agree with that. As much as I hate it, and that's why I force myself to try to do at least a little, even if it's hard for me to digest, because I think that's absolutely true. I definitely notice that I feel like I probably would have a better ramp up if I was someone who'd engaged with it more. So I'm still trying to force myself to do as much as possible, because I do think you're right.
What about you?
I was gonna say, well, statistically, adults between the ages of 19 and 49 spend 52 minutes a day on TikTok. So your efforts are not wasted. But specifically, I actually am always looking for like new ideas of like what authors are doing, what's popular, what's trending. I'm really mad that TikTok got rid of like the discover part, because I was utilizing that so much to like know what's going on, because half the time I was using like the hashtags that didn't make any sense to the videos, but putting it on there because it will help. And now they've gotten rid of discover and I hate it.
What is discover and what?
Yes, I should probably explain that. So on the bottom of, if you look at a TikTok screen, it will give you an option of home. Now they'll do friends, like create, and like your inbox
Profile?
and profile and something else. But they used to have, instead of your friends, they used to have discover, and the discover page was like the search, the all catch-all search bar, but would also give you like what's the current trending sounds, what hashtags are trending, what videos are currently popular. And it was really nice because if you were like right about to do something, you could find those sounds that you wanted to utilize. That for example, the Kate Bush song has just completely peaked, and with discover you would have been able to see that much quicker. But now it's only because I'm on TikTok and seeing it and seeing the videos that I know that's, and once I see one, then I'll like favorite that sound because I'll use that at a later time.
I still have the discover page. TikTok rolls out things really unclearly, and so they'll add new features to only certain subsets of users. They'll take things away from subsets of users. So I do still have it. I'm expecting it to go away anytime now because I've been hearing people talking about losing the discover feature. But I still have it currently. Right. And I agree, like for me, part of trying to figure out what videos that I can do, part of getting ideas for videos that I can do that might do well is watching videos that other people have done that have done well. And so as I'm scrolling through my For You page, I favorite things, like I interact with them to train the algorithm to show me more of those things, but then I save them into my favorites, and my favorites are private because they are essentially to me like swipe files, right? Like they're like, okay, this video is awesome and I want to do a version of the video, you know, using that sound or using a different sound, but you know, going about it in the same way, using the same cut, using the same style, but about my book instead of about their book. And so I absolutely follow people who are more successful than me in order to find ideas about that for videos that I can
It
do myself.
sounds very much to me, you know, very suspicious and cynical human being that I am, that they are deliberately trying to force you to consume more of the media.
Oh, of course. I mean,
Oh,
their
yeah, it's
business.
100% true.
Absolutely.
Although there are these two people who periodically, while I'm scrolling through in bed in the middle of the night, who pop up in my feed and tell me to turn it off.
Yes, that happened. Yeah.
Is one of them Joey? Because I love him and he's beautiful. And then he says, it's time to go to bed now. And he has this very soft,
yes.
beautiful British voice.
Yes.
And I'm like, yes, I'll go to bed now.
Yes. Yes.
Where are you?
He does tell me to go to bed.
Joey?
Yeah. Where are you?
Yeah. Well, that's also the interesting thing is because I kind of live both in the US and the UK, my TikTok feed does change, interestingly enough, because it will garner like more towards the British, the UK side versus the US side based on where I've been. So I do have a lot of like British TikTok going up and things that are popular in the UK. But if I visited home, and it mixes the two together, which is very interesting. And I think it's a nice mix of it because I feel like I get more of an idea of what's going on with TikTok that way.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, if you know, we are slowly inching our way towards the magic, oh my God, we got to leave now, moment. But before we do, if you had one piece of advice to give an author who is interested in trying out TikTok, or maybe two, limited number, okay, what would it be? Riley?
Oh, my biggest suggestion to start with is to see what other people are doing because that's the only way you're going to learn. Is to know like what is going on in your genre because that is very different from genre to genre. Because like YA is going to be different than what's romance and thrillers or whatever. They're all going to be they're already very different in terms of what the media, what's being consumed by those readers. So it's always do your research.
Okay, does that apply to subgenres? For example, I'm primarily in science fiction and fantasy. Does it have to, you know, do I search the hashtags for sci-fi, science fiction? Do I search them for steampunk or for?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would, because the thing about hashtags is that you want a balance between both niche and the broad. Because the niche will get you those ones who are really interested, but the broad will keep you in the algorithm and going. Like you don't want to put book talk on every single one of your things because it will just get lost. However, if you put like romantic suspense books, that's going to get a lot more views of the readers that you want to you want consuming your material. So it is kind of, you want to do both.
Great. JD.
Well, I mean, keeping in mind, I am the least successful person here. And I own my TikTok, novice status and a little bit of fraud. I do think that one of the things that sort of has kept me back is a little bit of fear, right? Mm-hmm. You're vulnerable when you put this stuff out there. It's your face, it's your work. You're like, you could I mean, it just feels like I'm going to look so stupid. Why am I doing this? And also, you know, once you put something out there, you know, it's out there, right? That doesn't, like, you don't get to claw that back. So my best advice is to, is what I'm working on, is to not be afraid to talk a little spontaneously and off the cuff, and like just sort of be that real authentic person, as we've mentioned several times. And again, if you find that you hate doing it, just stop and put your energy somewhere else. Like work on your blog, grow your e-newsletter. There's like a million things you could be doing. Don't force yourself to do it if you really hate it.
Good thoughts. Okay. Anna?
I agree. I think that those are all excellent suggestions. I think I would also suggest considering who you want your audience to be, because while most authors are also readers, readers are looking for something different in the videos that they consume from authors than sometimes I think authors are putting out. And so if you're doing videos that are targeted towards authors, providing writing tips for authors, and that's what you want to do, then that's great. But you might want to consider that readers will skip those, are likely to skip those. Readers are more interested in book hooks, they might be interested in the inspiration for your book. So you can sort of talk about, you know, how you came up with this character or this idea. But they're primarily interested in the content of your books, and they're less interested in the trials and tribulations of being an author. So figuring out who your audience is on TikTok, I think is important. And then if you're concerned about, you know, sort of privacy or, you know, your real life intermingling with your TikTok, I strongly suggest you do not use your phone number to sign up to TikTok.
Right.
You don't want the contacts from your phone to be suggested as TikTok contacts. And you might want to be careful about connecting your Facebook contacts, your Facebook friends, to your TikTok. I do use a pen name. I do put my face on, but I also have a day job and I'm fairly well known in a really, really small niche of my day job. And so these are things that I have done to try to make sure that if somebody from my day job shows up, you know, like finds my stuff, it's because they are also interested in spicy, queer, tentacle romance, in which case, awesome.
Yeah. Amanda, what about you? What's your go-to tip, your big piece of advice?
Definitely read very closely, in this case, the terms of service, the rules, the TikTok specifics, because it is way stricter than every other social media platform I have found personally, in ways that you might not think about. I have gotten dinged twice for things that I would have never thought would have been a problem, because they're the types of things I would have posted on Facebook with no repercussions. So it's like, read those very closely, because I thought, well, I don't need to, because it's the same general rules, right? Why would I need to care? Well, the platform is so focused on generally speaking, you know, like live or these pre-recorded videos of real people. So they have to be extra careful. So I got dinged on something that was a little spicier than it should be, even if it would have been fine on Facebook. And because I was doing a book trailer, I included a firearm example because it was talking about a criminal. Nope. Absolutely can't put that on TikTok. Never would have guessed in a million years that was a problem, because I didn't read them ahead of time. Mm-hmm. So absolutely, I know so much of the time we do that whole, yes, click yes, move on. I don't need to read that. No. Read them really carefully, because there might be like little hidden things that you wouldn't even think about, especially if it's specific to your genre. I know a lot of people who would have firearms on their book covers. I mean, depending on what their genre is, you know, you have to be careful with that type of thing. So sometimes, you know, you might want to fight back on a violation if it makes sense. But in my case, I was like, no, totally my bad. So absolutely, please just make sure in this case you read it carefully, because it's not the same as other platforms.
Okay. All right. We are coming up against the end of what has been, for me, a very informative panel. So I'm going to go around the room one more time and ask you all to say your full names again. Tell us what your current work is, if applicable, and where folks can find you on the web and social media. Starting with you, Amanda, and Give us that pronunciation again.
Yes, it's Mavison, which I know it looks like Mewison. Oh, and sorry, I realized I didn't put my my full name on there. Instead, I have an old email address there, but you can at least see how Mavison is spelled on my face there. Everything for me, really, AmandaMavison.com. On TikTok, I'm Amanda Mavison Books. Since I'm self-employed as far as what my self-published stuff, I do a little bit of mix. I have some published through publishers, some that I self-publish. I call it Amanda Mavison Books in most places. If you Google me, you get only me. I am the only one that exists. So it's pretty easy to find me that way, especially on TikTok too. It's always the Mavison.
Okay, great. Riley.
Okay, well, I actually have 3 different social medias because I have my book talk, which is also a travel blog style, which is Nerdy Wordy Nomad. Oh, I should say my full name again, right? It's Riley Klabundi. Yes, and then my writer / more personal one is Riley K Writes, and I own my own business doing social media management and media training for authors, which is Compass Point Creative. So if anybody has questions, you are free to ask me.
Great. Okay. And Anna?
I am Anna Kensing, and I can be found at annakensing.com and on TikTok at Anna Kensing Books. I am on Facebook as Anna Kensing, and I spend more time than I should, but not that much time. And I have essentially abandoned Twitter and Instagram right now in favor of TikTok. So, yes.
Hey, there are only so many hours in the day, as we all can attest. Okay, and JD.
So I'm JD Blackrose, and you can, if you want to find me, probably go to Linktree and just look at JD Blackrose. Everything is there. My blog site is slipperywords.com, and on TikTok I'm JD Blackrose, and Facebook I'm JD Blackrose, and yeah.
Okay.
Pretty dependable.
Yeah, I'm boring
As it
too.
should be.
I'm Jean Marie Ward. Anyway, and I'm also at the end of our hour together, and I thank you all for being here and giving us so much good information. And I thank you out there from ConTinual, the convention that's always here when you want some entertainment. Thank you.